Hey, question number 2. What if I'm not growing in my church? You know, that's a similar question to the last one, but in a way surrounding the church. Again, that's a great question. And here's the danger. At times, people are in the wrong church and a church which is not facilitating growth. There are churches that basically, it's not like they'll put this in the mission statement, but they're really not that interested in having people grow. They want people to come and serve and grow to a certain level and stay in that place. You know, many churches these days, and I think there's some positives in this, but also frankly a lot of negatives. A lot of churches that are based around the seeker-friendly model, in a way every single thing in the church is designed on an attractional model. They think and work through every detail of, in a way they're constantly thinking, how does this look to somebody on the outside? How will a visitor live this? And in a way, that's really great, because those churches are great at leading people to Jesus. Those churches are not great at producing growth in people. After a while, usually after a few months, you've learned everything they know. And in a way, the only thing you can learn then is how to win people to Jesus. Now, learning how to win people to Jesus is a really big thing, but it doesn't necessarily promote growth in other places. So I think there are some people in a church where, yeah, you should probably leave the church, because if it's not producing and facilitating that growth. The other problem, though, is lots of people in some of the most amazing churches. You can go to any church on planet Earth. You know, I will have people in my church who, if you put them on sodium pentothal, truth serum, they'd probably say, oh, I'm frustrated, I'm not growing in Graham's church. And the danger is, it's not that the problem's not that we're not teaching good things, or that they're not constantly being surrounded by new challenges and new things to learn. Here's the problem. The problem's what I touched at in the last question as well. The problem is, after a while, if we only keep taking on information, James puts it this way: if we become hearers of the word, but not doers, excuse me, we end up in self-deception. We don't even need the devil to deceive us. We end up in self-deception. So I would say to anybody, if you're not growing in your church, number one, are you actually engaging in the things the church is providing? Are you there every single week nearly? Are you there with a notepad and a pen? Are you there in the prayer meetings? Are you there in the Bible studies? If not, just forget it, baby. Okay, but actually be there, be engaged in those things. I would say, secondly, are you serving? Because you see, you don't get to, the servants get to drink the new wine before the guests of the wedding do. And there's a part of the ministry of Jesus we won't get. You know, Jesus gets the great apostles of the Lamb, and he washes their feet. And then Peter refuses, and Jesus forces Peter to have his feet washed. And then he challenges Peter to do the same thing. And he comes back to the same Peter after the cross and says, do you love me? Feed my sheep. Do you love me? Feed my sheep. Do you love me? Feed my sheep. See, the implication is that we're not loving God if we're not serving God's people. And we grow. Christianity is not, the goal is not that we come and we learn and we learn and we move, we get a PhD in Christianity. Rather, the goal is that we come, we have a few basic, simple things established in our life that we're actually going to spend the whole of our lives, nay, the whole of eternity discovering. We won't spend eternity, I don't think, more uncovering things we've never seen, but rather actually understanding the things that are available to us right here and right now. God has so much available to us. But again, those things are tied into the doing. So the danger is we become experts at Greek and Hebrew verbs, and we're not experts at becoming lovers of Jesus, lovers of God's people. We're not expert at taking risk of doing those things. So I would actually say, have a good talk with the leadership there and express those frustrations. You know, if somebody comes to me and says that, I'm not a snowflake. I don't go, ooh, you're a horrible person. I actually enjoy it if somebody comes and I can give them positive, practical things that will move them forward on that journey. Or maybe I can simply help and point out the things that they think they're in a place of maturity, but they're actually not doing on a daily basis. And if they'll engage with these things, it will move them swiftly forward in the plans and purposes of God. Good.